Good morning, everyone. I am Dr. Parmesha, Department of Botany, St. Joseph's University, Bengaluru.
Welcome to the Botany Open Elective course Gardening and Landscaping Technology.
Today we're going to talk about propagating structure. Okay, uh, propagating structure. So there's a greenhouse. So because for certain plants, or especially if you want to do garden, okay, so or some landscaping, you have to have one greenhouse with you. Okay, so then it's easy for us to grow. Okay, plants maybe is in general commercial scale. Okay, but if you are growing some plants at home, okay, I mean it's not required at a small scale, but it's a relatively large scale if you want to really cultivate on your own. So better to have one small greenhouse, okay, maybe in your backyard or even in your rooftop. If you keep one greenhouse, it's easy for you to grow plants. Okay, plants will easily uh, in any environmental condition, okay, they will going to uh, grow. Okay, the success rate is relatively higher compared to just you plant some plants in some pot and keep it somewhere else in the house or your garden. Okay, so as a propagating structure, so greenhouse. Okay, so already you told, so when I ask what is greenhouse, okay, maybe you might have seen this type of structure. Again, you can see lots of variations. Okay, the greenhouses we're going to see, so what are those variations. Okay, um, uh, yeah, you mentioned, someone mentioned the greenhouse is a building with walls and roof made primarily transparent material in which plants are grown. Okay, that's a simple definition. If you go to any website, okay, so they will give this information. Okay, um, why is so important? Okay, the interior of greenhouse exposed to sunlight is significantly warmer than the external temperature, so protecting its plants from extreme conditions. Okay, so that's very important. So I don't know, some of you might went inside to the greenhouse and maybe you might have felt, okay, it's a warmer. Okay, it's a warmer. Why it is warmer, okay, compared to external environment? So we'll come to that later. So I have one slide on that. Okay, so I mean, first of all, why the name greenhouse? Okay, so that also there. So I'll discuss with that. But main thing here, compared to external environment, significantly it's a warmer inside. Okay, and protecting it from the extreme condition. Okay, so even outside any extreme condition, last time we discussed about that. Okay, when harsh environmental condition, uh, the outdoor garden will sometimes affected that time, so indoor garden would be better. Okay, or also sometimes you are maintaining some plants outside. Suppose if you have a greenhouse, you can keep it there. Okay, so then later we can shift, we can multiply, and we can transfer. Okay, so that's why, so protecting its plant from extreme condition is also one of the major function. Okay, for a greenhouse. Again, so you can see in a different uh, types. Okay, so like I mean recent very much advanced. Okay, so compared to olden days, I have a couple of pictures of olden days greenhouse structure, what really, okay, so they used to. uh, we need transparent material. Okay, we need transparent material, especially glass. Otherwise nowadays we can use some other material, okay, like nets. Okay, we call it as shade nets. It comes with different shades. Okay, uh, in olden days, so they have to have only some thatching just to give the required amount of shade to the plant. Okay, but later we added many facilities. Okay, so you have a control unit inside the greenhouse. Okay, you see the right hand picture. Okay, they have a control unit, so they maintain, okay, the temperature inside, heating, cooling, and lighting, because plants require different types of light. Okay, different types of moisture, different plants, and different types of lighting. Okay, because plants are like a long day plant, short day plant, day neutral plant. Okay, so like that there's a variation in those plants to give optimum condition. Okay, like optimum temperature, light. Okay, pH, whatever. Okay, so for that, so they have a control unit. so greenhouse control unit, they'll optimize whatever the requirement. Okay, so this is how actually they grow more and they grow faster, and the quality wise also they are really good, especially if you go to floriculture. Okay, you can see the left hand side picture. Okay, the they extensively used in floriculture, so because it's again big billion business in the world. So the floriculture, in fact Bangalore is also one of the places where you can see many uh, I mean greenhouses where they grow flowers. Okay, some are indoor, some are outdoor. Okay, so this is indoor cultivation, some are outdoor cultivation. Okay, uh, even around Bangalore, you can see many like this. I mean, again, famous for pomiculture, especially grape cultivation. Okay, so grape and this flowers are very popular here. So, and also more demand for the flowers for Bangalore. Uh, if you harvest in the morning, okay, so 4 and 5 by 8 and 9 it will be there in another country. Okay, so like that good facility and chain link we have developed so in our country, especially even in Bangalore. Okay, so for this purpose, so we need quality flowers, so we have to have a greenhouse, okay, to grow this. I mean, uh, without, I mean, greenhouse, I mean, it's quite difficult for us to achieve, I mean, the goal what we are planning really for, to have a garden, to grow these plants. Okay, and not only just for flowers, I'm telling, like even vegetables, fruits also we can grow in this greenhouse. Okay, so maybe we'll come to later. So we have a very big greenhouses where they're supplying vegetables. Mhm. So that's how nowadays it's a modern and control greenhouse control unit and center also there inside the greenhouse. But at house level maybe you can keep small one also. Okay, so inside you can work like in fact in our campus in PG we have one greenhouse where we are growing plants which are required for us for our study purpose. Okay, maybe you can visit whenever you visit college campus. Yeah, so this is very simple greenhouse. You can see, maybe you can imagine, so it's a one small bedroom. Okay, so it was completely constructed using glass panels and some wooden metal frames, and there's an opening for aeration. Okay, and there's a door. So by seeing this, how to define what is greenhouse? Okay, how to define what is greenhouse? Some general definition already we discussed, but apart from that, scientifically, some scientists have given definitions. Okay, because when we say something in science, you have to quote. Okay, so from which research paper? Because and who coined the term, or who defined those things, or where we got that information? Because that is a coming from lots of trial and error, and most I mean research. Okay, based on their research the definition will come. Yeah, so greenhouse is a framed or inflated structure covered with a transparent material which permits at least partial control of plant environment and which are large enough to permit a person to carry out cultural operation. Okay, so Chandra and Panwar in 1987 published a paper in that they have given this information. Okay, yes, even the tiny one, okay, size of your hand. Okay, so one meter by 1 meter also we can have, and some plants you can keep inside, but person has to work inside. Okay, so permit a person to carry out cultural operation. What are cultural operation? Okay, so how to grow that particular plant, watering, pruning. Okay, so fertigation, seeding. Okay, so those things, okay, uh, will comes under management, maintenance, comes under this cultural operations. Okay, so that's why the transparent material which permits at least partial control of plant environment and which are large enough to permit a person to carry out cultural operation. Okay, this was, I mean, this definition was given by Chandra and Panwar in 1987. On the other hand, Tiwari in 2003. Okay, the greenhouse is a system controlled environment agriculture with a precise control of air temperature, humidity, light, carbon dioxide, water, and plant nutrition. Okay, so it is a much more elaborated and fine-tuned that. Okay, in fact he used air temperature, humidity, light, carbon dioxide, water, and plant nutrition. So yeah, of course, these are like I mentioned in a couple of classes back. Okay, the essentials to grow any plants. Okay, temperature is important, air is important, humidity, light, carbon dioxide, everything is important. So in the external environment, so we may not get all, okay, in a proper or optimum way, but internal in indoor in the sense like if you grow inside the greenhouse, we get, okay, so we get all these in optimum condition. Okay, so throughout the year any adverse condition is there, still you could able to grow. Okay, so continuous supply of vegetables or your flowers, so any plant parts we can keep growing, and we can so multiplying them, and we can sell, we can use, okay, etc, whatever we want, the product or the crop which we grow inside the greenhouse. Okay, so I mean the success rate is really high. Okay, when you grow plant inside the greenhouse. Why the name greenhouse? Okay, someone might ask why the name greenhouse. Is it a green in color? Yeah. So no. But still, why the greenhouse? So because the term greenhouse comes from the greenhouse effect. Okay, so it has been introduced to describe the way portion of sun's heat is absorbed by Earth's atmosphere, which keeps our plant warm at night. Okay, so the Earth atmosphere is actually uh, absorb, okay, sunlight, and it will trap, and it will keep while going back. So whatever comes, it will not revert back. Okay, some will be trapped there. Okay, that's why the earth actually warm at night. Similar way here, the glass panels or polythene sheets, they play a role of this earth atmosphere, and whatever light enters through that uh, polythene sheets or the glass, okay, the glass panel, it will come inside, but while going back, so everything is not going revert back, some will be trapped. So that's why inside the poly house, greenhouse, or glass house is a quite warmer. Okay, the same process is actually uh, whatever happen in nature, where that warm of the earth also takes place in greenhouse. The glass structure will cap the sunlight, and the area under glass will heat up. So they observed similar thing in a greenhouse. So that's why they gave the word greenhouse. Okay, the word greenhouse coming from greenhouse effect. Okay, so that's why they gave greenhouse for the structure whatever we see so far. Uh, why to grow? Why to grow plants in a greenhouse? Okay, or you can say uses of greenhouse. Uh, we can extend cropping season. That's an important thing here. So because suppose if it's an external environment, maybe you can see some rainy season. Okay, so during dry season you can't grow any crop, though there are some crops, but in that particular season you have to grow that particular crop. Otherwise, you have to wait for next year only to return that season to grow that particular crop. But if you grow the crops or plants inside the greenhouse, we can grow throughout the year because there's no season. Inside, you will give whatever the requirement, including air, light, temperature, humidity. It's available uniformly throughout the year. Okay, so that's why you can extend the cropping season and also protect them from adverse environmental condition. Okay, sometimes you can see extreme precipitation will spoil your crop, extreme temperature will spoil your crop, and even disease and pest is actually problematic in external condition because they nowhere they can come. Okay, so anywhere they can come and attack, okay, your crop. But if it is in the closed condition, that means in your greenhouse, okay, we can avoid all these. Okay, and also uh, there's no like disease and pest, okay, if you properly manage. Okay, so this is covered, this is a glass house, or it is a net house or shade house. um, and quality wise also, Okay, so quality wise also there's a high quality plants we can get around the here. Okay, why high quality of plants? In external condition, okay, sometimes you can get good crop, good, I mean quality. Sometimes you may not because the variation in conditions. Okay, so but here the external temperature, precipitation, light, everything it's actually optimized and normal. So we can get the same quality, good quality of flowers, good quality of fruits, and good quality of vegetables under greenhouse. Okay, so throughout the year. Okay, so that's why. Okay, so greenhouse technology is relatively better and good uh, for this purpose. Okay, so maybe for gardening, farming, horticulture, agriculture. Okay, for gardening purpose. So you don't know, I don't know how many of you visited uh, big banyan tree in Bangalore. Near big banyan tree in Bangalore, hundreds of nurseries are there. So there, many are those under greenhouses. Okay, so if you visit or if time permits, we can visit. It's a good place to learn these things. Yeah, so greater control. Okay, so greater control and temperature, light, shade, irrigation, fertilizer application, atmospheric humidity, everything we can give. Okay, so optimum way. Uh, Shade in a hot and dry climate and easy to transplant. Okay, so any plants can be raised in a trace. Okay, and pest and disease can be controlled. So already I told you pest and disease can be easily controllable because so entire system is under our control. Okay, when the system is in our control, so then it's easy for us to manipulate things. Okay, it's easy for us to manipulate things. I don't know if you heard like ecosystem. Okay, the word ecosystem. So where biotic components are there, abiotic components are there. Okay, there's an interaction between these biotic and abiotic components. Sometimes interaction between biotic components. Okay, so their natural ecosystems are there. Natural ecosystem like a forest, desert ecosystem, pond ecosystem, lake ecosystem, and apart from that, there's a man-made ecosystem. So these man-made ecosystems are our greenhouses, our terrarium, our aquariums, okay, our agriculture land, our cropland. Okay, so here also we have biotic component, abiotic component, and there is an interaction between these. Okay, but still we'll able to achieve to get good crops. Okay, so that's why greenhouse is so very important in terms of gardening. Okay, or like horticulture, agriculture, floriculture, pomiculture. Pomiculture is a growing of uh, fruit. Okay, and historically, so just if you go back, historically the concept of growing plant was actually in Roman time because the king. Okay, so the Roman emperor Tiberius, um, he like vegetables daily, but it's quite difficult to get daily because there's lots of variation in environment. So that time they invented something like a greenhouse, similar to greenhouse structure they invented. So there they can get daily because there is no variation in environment. uh, yeah, so then more recent the greenhouse was a like kind of a dome shaped structure. In many countries you can see this dome shaped structure. A best example is a Eden project in UK. Okay, Cornwall, UK, Missouri Botanical Garden. In fact, we have a glass house, nice glass house in Lalbagh Botanical Garden. When you visit, so please get some information and observe. Okay, you can see the dome shaped structure, and even in the central picture black and white is just you can see the thatch type of condition. This was actually first century, sorry, 1900. Okay, so around 1900 in China. Okay, so they found something like this. Leon in the top. Okay, so they found first century BC. Okay, uh, something they found something like this. So they believe that these are all could be a greenhouse structure in those periods. And looking ahead in the future, technology will continue to innovate. Okay, how to go grow food and other plants because you might feel okay. So nowadays you may heard okay climate change other effect, how this climate change will affect okay so growth and development of living component on earth, especially this crop. So in those cases, so greenhouses are better to overcome all this. Okay, and the controlled climate controlled environment will supply hungry world. Okay, so that means in the future, again this is a uh, important invention. Okay, so because we know, okay, we heard why farmers are suicide a lot. Okay, because there's no crop. Sometimes even if they get crop, okay, so they will uh, not get the proper price. Sometimes they grow more. Okay, so you might heard now tomato price is 100 rupees, more than 100 rupees per kg. Onion price is more than 100 rupees per kg. Okay, this season, some season you see even tomato is not even 1 rupee or 2 rupee, even not 4 5 rupees. So why is that so much variation? Suppose if it is a greenhouse controlled condition, you will get same quality and quantity every month. Okay, every month. So whenever you get a good price, you will get. So if you take average, maybe you will get a good price throughout the year. So that's why, so looking ahead, so greenhouse will be the, so future of hunger world. Okay, so we can supply food to the hungry world. Apart from that, we have 6 types of greenhouses. Okay, based on the style and the material what we use and where we use. Okay, there are 6 types. So please um, listen this carefully. So again, exams there will be questions on this. Lean to type, even span, ridges and furrows. So Quonset greenhouse or barrel wall greenhouse, Dutch. So Venlo greenhouse. What are these? Okay, so lean to type is a very simple one. Lean to type. You have a house. Okay, so I mean it's easy for you to establish one lean to type. Okay, so for your, even if you have a balcony also, in that balcony you can make this lean to type attached to home or building, allowing easier access to utilities including electricity and water supply. Okay, and from inside only you can visit, that's also possible. And water and electricity you can connect it from your house. Okay, and it's close to your house, you can monitor better. Okay, so advantage being close proximity to the house, which can help better monitoring of plants. uh, Only disadvantage, sunlight entrance is limited because one side is completely covered with your house. If sun goes to other side, okay, you may not get sunlight afternoon. Okay, may based on the direction what you're going to keep. Okay, suppose if your house is so east west direction, uh, in that if you place either east or west, so at least one side it will be covered. So that's the only thing. Otherwise, lean to type is very popular, very simple at household level. Okay, it's easy for you to grow. So just some cladding material like a metal or wood you have to keep. Okay, uh, okay. So just wood or other thing you have to keep. Then you put glass panels. Okay, easy to maintain and relatively less cost compared to the proper one. And even space type is exactly looks like your house. Okay, so even pitch size similar to that of house, how you build some houses. Okay, like a tile houses. Okay, uh, like that you can develop, so you can get sunlight from both the side, and there should be a free space around that. And and it's evenly spacing. uh, Only thing they observed over the period of time, so overlapping panels will increase the chances of leakage. That's the only thing he observed. Otherwise, it's a relatively good one. Okay, so good one, even space type of greenhouse. And third one, ridge and furrow. Okay, so ridge and furrow, you can see ridge and furrow. Maybe you might have seen this one many when you are traveling in many places, other cities. Okay, so on highway, on either side of highway, somewhere in some places you might have seen very huge structures like this. You might think what are they? So they are nothing but ridge and furrow type of greenhouses. Okay, so these are like joint community of even space greenhouses. You see the previous one, even space, this there is only one. Like this you will going to connect many. Okay, so they connect many. So this single one is a even space like that, 1 2 3 4, like that they'll connect many. They share common wall. Okay, they share common wall. Number of greenhouses connected along the length of the house. The design, especially the shared interior wall, this is the only one interior wall allows for the increase of space and sunlight. Okay, so this will allow space and sunlight. Okay, and and in different, okay, sections you can, since it has a space wall, in different sections you can go different vegetable, and you can modify the temperature, air, light, and humidity. Okay, so between these walls. Okay, uh, only disadvantages, okay, if the water is not drained properly, could result in damage. Okay, shadow from greenhouse could prohibit sunlight. Suppose, see here the V-shaped structure, the connectivity between these two. So there may be stagnant of water. Just we have to make sure, so there should not be a stagnant of water. Okay, it should be drained properly. Okay, that's one thing. Otherwise, it might damage greenhouse. Okay. Um, Otherwise, the shadow might affect. Okay. Otherwise, is more or less similar to the previous one, but there are many connected in a row. Okay. So this is Ridson furrow type, and another one is a Quonset greenhouse. Quonset greenhouse means this is a dome-shaped structure. Okay. So quite a bigger. Okay. So here the curved bars covered with a polyethylene films. Okay, you can see here. So these are curved bars. So they covered with polyethylene sheets. Inside you can grow plants. Okay, so maybe fruits, vegetables, and flowers. Anything you can grow. Okay, I mean, sorry, not for the fruits. Generally they go for vegetables and flowers. Okay, enormously they use for flowers, and cost wise also it's less. Okay, compared to other, relatively easy to maintain. Just see here. So, and anybody can handle. Okay, and it's actually one man can touch the roof. So that's why, so we can easily manage these things. Okay, easily manage these things. So work well on hillside and maximize heating from the sun. Okay, uh, so relatively, so they mentioned expensive, it's not so expensive. Okay, so oh, I could, this sentence go here, inexpensive. Okay, um so there's more support required, uneven space, and if it is a windy, okay, so because of this concept greenhouse we can avoid wind. Okay, so whatever the wind comes it will blow away. Okay, so the less damage. So that's why, so concept greenhouse is also very important. And fourth one, barrel vault greenhouse. Again, several concept type of greenhouses connected through gutters. Okay, the connecting structure. So these are, see, so exactly the like previous one, but you have many. Uh, Advantage, built with ridge vent, which provide air circulation throughout. Okay, and another thing difficult to maintain. Okay, so because uh, many are there, and it's not like you can't go from inside to one to another. Okay, each one has its own entrance. Okay, so again, suppose if I'm working here, I have to come back and I have to shifting, transferring, everything is like it looks like individual only. Okay, so everything can be taken care like individual only. So that's why, so not like the previous what we have studied. Okay, so this is so relatively better. Okay, so where we can move within the area. Okay, it's quite high raised, but this is not high rise. Okay, each one, okay, each one constant type will be actually touching the ground from both the side. Okay, so this is uh, barrel vault is actually fifth type, and last one is a Dutch Venlo greenhouse. Okay, so this is a kind of modification of ridge and furrow greenhouse. What we have seen, this ridge and furrow. Okay, is exactly like this, but material use and slightly modified and permanent structure, and high winter sunlight is reached easily to grow certain crops. Okay, and we can open that and we can close that. Okay, so whenever we want. See here is a quite very used, and it's a quite expensive also. Okay, and we can open the top attaching the roof, we can open and again we can close. So whenever we want we can open, whenever we want close. But highly ventilated windows. Okay, so because they are high ventilated windows, sometimes cold air to enter the greenhouse. Okay, but as of now what we learned, greenhouse there should be warmer condition, but chances are there cold house enters, so that might affect interior climate. Okay, so like the interior climate of the greenhouse. So otherwise, so relatively good one. Okay, it's under controlled condition. And you sometimes you may feel it's extremely warmer, you may not require, and relatively I mean control without that opening, then so it's easy for us, just you can open that the roofing, so then the temperature you can maintain easily inside. Okay, so these are 6 types. Okay, so maybe some might ask among these some questions may come for your exam. Okay, for 2 marks question, or else it is MCQ type. So based on this lean type, even space resident for our concept. Okay, so we may ask some question. Okay, lean to type, even span, resident furrow, concept, barrel vault, and Dutch Venlo. Okay, based on the material what we use, so there are 2 types. One is a 3 types. So glass house, net house, okay, and polytunnel house. Okay, so glass house mainly, so glass is used as a glazing material. Okay, so you can see here whatever we studied in the previous 6 types, either they use glass or they use shade net and polythene sheets. Majority we have seen, so glass or polythene sheets. Okay, and again it's kind of oldest type. Okay, and we are in size and shape we have seen in the previous case. Okay, uh, so effective for winter cultivation, especially in other European countries, they much required because they are actually harsh environment. They have a winter. Okay, so harsh winter. So in those cases, this glass house greenhouse are better. Okay, but only thing is first initial cost. Okay, establishment cost is uh, very high. Okay, so, so if there is a frequent damage, that means glass, if the glass is broke, again we have to replace, again it cost. So otherwise, okay, so that harsh environment condition like European countries where winter, harsh winter, so these glasses house are much better. And net houses, you might have seen, these are like very popular even in India, in Karnataka, and many places you have seen this. Okay, so net houses, these are all shade nets. Under shade nets, you can see lots of vegetables and other crops. Okay, other flowering crops. So you have uh, grown. Okay, just you have to give thatching. Okay, on galvanized iron, or sometimes you might have seen some people erect stone. Okay, stone pillars. Okay, so you covered with this plastic nets. Okay, these are all shade nets in green color, they are made of plastic. Okay, so threads, and it will give different shades. Okay, so 100% polythene thread and specialized UV treatment. So this could be like 15% to 100%, you can see. Okay, the shade percentage. Okay, so they made based on shade percentage. Some we can see more light, some less light. Okay, like that the percentage of light will also enter inside its vary. Okay, and it will give controlled atmosphere and environment for crops. Okay, so during daytime. Okay, so and it's a low cost compared to all glass thatching, like a glass roof and iron. Okay, and panels, and it's very easy to install, and is something damage also easy to replace, and relatively low cost. Okay, it's, I mean, it's available easily, so maybe it's easy for you to install at home. Okay, if you have some canopy, or if you have some okay, some extra area. So maybe for your wall you can put two to three poles. From those poles you can so done it, and you can grow your plants, okay, garden plants or some vegetable plants inside. Okay, so this is net house. Yeah, why it's so important? So helps to cultivation of plants, okay, foliage, rising forestry species. Yeah, whatever we discussed so far. Okay, so it is possible. Okay, with net house. And another one is polytunnel house. Okay, you can see there looks like tunnels, but there are many. Okay, so and they are exactly look like what we studied in a previous case. Okay, so this one. Okay, so barrel walled greenhouse, they are nothing but polytunnels, but these are all quite high raised, but these are all so small. Okay, so it's very small, it's like a tunnel. Okay, it's also called as a hoop greenhouse. Why is hoop? It's a u-shaped structure. Hoop is like a u-shaped or curved structure. So this again the tunnel made of steel and covered with polythene, usually semicircular. Okay, this steel skeleton inside, and that they covered with polythene sheets. Okay, um, as usual inside it will heats up because of same greenhouse effect. Okay, so here uh, soil and other thing inside building, okay, warms faster. Okay, so and compared to other, okay, so because they are tunnel like structure, I mean the distance between the soil and the roof is relatively shorter. Okay, and we can easily control temperature, humidity and ventilation. Okay, and also it has a so closing and opening vent, we can manually we can do that. So rather than making like a two other glass houses, so we can make 4 5 or 10, okay, with the same cost, okay, and easy to perform. So this is a polytunnel house. Okay, and of course you might have seen this type also. So some crops are suitable for this, but majority, okay, so the garden plants you can grow in any of these type, and whatever is easy for you, so we can grow them. um, Advantages: higher temperature and humidity. Okay, if the plant require more temperature, so crop from intense heat, bright sunlight, wind, hailstorm, cold waves. Off season, that means any season throughout the year the round you can give the crops. Okay, uh, yeah, so outdoor they can survive easily. And overall disadvantages of greenhouse, I mean, whatever I told so far, like 6 types plus based on the material what we observe. So what are the disadvantages? Okay, we have, I mean, learned so many advantages so far, but still we can see some disadvantages. What are those? Poor pollination. Okay, so because it's a closed condition, pollinators like, okay, so butterflies, sometimes birds and honeybees won't visit, especially honeybees won't visit. Okay, that's why there's a poor pollination. Okay, so and natural predators like pest insect will not feed them, resulting pest attack within the greenhouse. Okay, sometimes during our operation some pest might enter and it will start eating our crops. Sometimes natural pest eaters will come, predators like birds, okay, will come and eat this pest. But here because this is control condition, it may not happen, we have to do it manually. Okay, that means you have to spend some amount to overcome that. And maintenance and operation cost, okay, we have seen right from, okay, lean to type to advanced type, so maintenance cost is relatively high. Okay, if you have a larger area and you are growing crops and you are selling and your income is really good, then you can maintain. But if something fails, again maintenance cost you have to bear, and it's a time consuming. Yes, time consuming. and requires regular periodic inspection. Okay, periodic inspection is required. That means so the man hours are increased. Otherwise, if something damage happens somewhere, again that will spoil entire greenhouse effect. Again, trained people required. Okay, trained people required. So otherwise, except that few, okay, the tunnel type or normal shade house type, okay, so anybody can handle that, okay, normal farmer can handle. But if it is like automated, okay, and with controlled unit, okay, with controlled unit, it's a really big house, okay, so kind of glass house. So you need trained person, okay, so otherwise it might collapse and it is very okay. So we need really so knowledgeable person who knows optimum temperature, light, humidity. So those type of people, okay, technicians we required only handle those type of things. So that is the only disadvantages. Otherwise, so it's successfully okay happening across the world. So in fact, people spend so billions of rupees on greenhouses. So right from tiny size of your bedroom to you have acres of lands are converted into greenhouses. Okay, these are the disadvantages. And apart from that, so some of these things, so why these greenhouses very popular, we can see here world largest greenhouse is the Eden project in so Cornwall, UK. So it's a 15,000 square meter, you can see here. So maybe the movie Die Another Day is actually did some shooting here. If you watch that movie, I don't know which scene, but I read something like that. And again, another one is coming up in France. Okay, Opal Coast, 20,000 square meter. The work will be completed in 2024. You can see here. Okay, you can see the greenhouse. Inside, of course, you can see kind of a tropical forest. Okay, so by seeing this man and this bridge, you can make out how big the how big is the greenhouse and the plants inside. So it will they can actually grow tropical forest inside. Okay, there's another greenhouse is coming up in France, and another existing one, okay, in Montreal, Canada. So 15,000 square meter greenhouse made out of glass. Actually, till this, so three, 4 stories are only the warehouse, okay. So, but rather than giving the top house as a wasteland, okay, they converted into greenhouse. Okay, so I mean this is very popular, especially uh, they are giving daily vegetables to 10,000 families, and this played a major role during lockdown period. Okay, so they made really good profit, and they grow vegetables and supply. Okay, uh, daily 10,000 families they are feeding with the as vegetables. So that's how you can think of really how greenhouse play a major role, okay, in terms of growing plants. Hmm? So not only just plants for agriculture, horticulture, pomiculture, floriculture, your garden. Okay, so I mean, garden is again I'll tell you this is an expensive business, so we can really meet up uh, success. We can succeed, by using these greenhouses. So with this, I end my class. Thank you so much. I acknowledge photographs and information I have taken from some website and some books.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe the channel for more videos and information. Thank you.